actually, you know, it kind of leads
Yeah.
me to something though. So, you know, we all have different little things to decompress or to kind of, you know, our little pastimes that we like to pursue. Bob, you're obviously one of the busy guys in the room. One of my favorite sayings too, if you want something done, you find the busiest person in the room. With all that you're doing between your speaking, your practice, the little entertainment part of all this performance, being an author, how do you take time out for yourself? How do you maintain that balance too? Because there's a lot going on, and you're a giver too. I mean, you're giving constantly. So
Um, well, I think all the things I do, being a doctor is something I do for myself too. Um,
yeah,
you know, it's interesting. I'm now 68 years old. And one of the things you do, as those of us who, and I know you're all younger than I am, I can tell by looking, but one of the things you do is you sort of say, what makes your life meaningful? What gives meaning to your life? And I decided some time ago that what gives meaning for me, because an artist will say creating beautiful art, a dance, an athlete will say being the best I can at what I do. But for me, the answer was, what gives my life meaning is what I can do for other people, period. Whether it's being a doctor, whether it's entertaining them, whether it's trying to help my kids grow up to be the best that they can be. And that's it. And I think that one of the great things about our profession is that when it's, and God knows there are things that are discouraging and things that frustrate us and make us angry and make us discouraged. But at the end of the day, when we look back, we will not have manufactured the most widgets. We will not have sold the most product. And let's face it, gang, we will not have made the most money. But there will be thousands and thousands of people whose lives are better because they met us. That's the best damn job in the world.
you're here, man.
I want to ask you to comment on one thing
100%.
that I bring up from time to time on this show, Bob, and that is I fear that the capacity for us to take that attitude is being taken from us because so many of us have become employees first, and now not even physicians, we're providers, and
commodities.
We hear a great deal about physician burnout and all the things that cause it, and I think that is the causative organism right there. This reality that it is almost impossible with the educational debt that accumulates for any physician, any medical school graduate to be an independent operator of their own business and have a relationship that exists between themselves and the patient and no one else. This idea of the employee physician has been very destructive, I think, and I wonder if you have any thoughts on that.
I do. I have a lot of thoughts about it. And that's why I think it's important to go into that room with a performer's mindset. The performer's mindset involves many things, but the two crucial ones for us as doctors is, number one, as I said at the beginning, what do performers want to do? They want to connect with the audience. They want to create that connection, no matter how they do it. So we want to connect with our patients. But another aspect of the performer's mindset is their ability, when they are on stage, to exclude everything else going on in their lives and concentrate on being in the moment in that performance. And so look at actors who do the same show night after night after night. It can become routine. Mm-hmm. So they are trained to remain in the moment so that if another actor changes a line or does something different, they can respond. And we go into that room to push everything else away and say, I am here to connect with that person, for me, that audience, and just let everything else go. That's the only way I've been able to handle it. When we're in the room, face to face with that patient, that's when we're in our element. That's what we've trained to do, and that's where we go in there and we use our our experience and our training and our skills and our knowledge, all for the purpose of serving that patient. That is our domain. And when we're in there, that enables us, I hope, to push all that other stuff aside. And because the only thing that matters really to that person is what happens when we're in there with them, because they don't know all this other stuff. They don't know about our financial stresses, about the 2 lawsuits that we're facing, that our kid didn't get into college. They don't know any of that stuff. They don't care. All they care about is that we give them the best of ourselves. And for me, that's our best performance for the time that we're in there with them. And that's what I did. And I think as long as we remember why we're there, we are there for that person, for that family, and nothing else matters at that moment, then we can bring the best of ourselves to that interaction, no matter what's going on around us. That's what I mean by the performance.
That's so well stated. And I think, to Randy's point too, knowing yourself, what makes you happy, what gives you the most joy, and recognizing that our careers and what we've been trained to do, like you said, Bob, provides us so much enrichment, enjoyment. And so if you never lose sight of that, then you can put a lot of this other stuff to the side. And Randy, you're right, it becomes more difficult. It's certainly over the years become more and more of a challenge, without question. But if you strip all that stuff away and get right down to it, if you had to just kind of narrow it down to what makes me tick, what gives me the most satisfaction and happiness, then you can deal with a lot of this. I mean, that's been one of my little secrets. I blocked out so much of the BS over the years and just said, just stay focused on why you did this in the first place. Because when you made that decision to go into medicine, you were of sound mind. You had done your homework. You knew why you wanted to be there. You addressed your calling. And so don't let all this other stuff, this background noise, distract you.
There's a famous, his name escapes me at the moment, but there's a famous golf instructor from Texas who's no longer living, who wrote a book called The Little Red Book.
Harvey Penick.
Penick. And his biggest tip was, at this moment in time, the most important thing in your life is this shot.
That's right.
And so he's saying you have to stay in the moment. Don't be thinking of what's going to happen, what did happen right now. And I think that's the key about the communication. Now, what Randy said,
yes,
I don't know how the kids, it's a different world. So they're going to have to, they're coming into a different world completely than you and I, Randy. I don't think they're coming out.
Well, I think we probably need to spend some time on thinking about how to prepare them, because what they face is profoundly different from what you and I faced when we went into practice. They will be employees, and they will be treated like employees. And I think Bob is absolutely correct. The ability to compartmentalize into a separate space what you do with the patient, as opposed to what you do when you walk away from the patient and you deal with the case managers and the hospital administrators and the Medicare people and all that. You really have to find a way to move from one space into the other. And if you're not effective with that, it's going to be terribly demoralizing.
Thank you so much for joining us for this discussion today. If you'd like to learn more about our guest, head on over to our Patreon page, where you can access exclusive content, including the full segment of our show. Never want to miss an Inside the Doctor's Lounge clip? Be sure to click the subscribe button to our MD Coaches YouTube channel. As always, we appreciate suggestions for future show topics. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments below. And finally, special thanks to Ryan Jones, who created and performs our theme music for the show.